with a Game of Thrones break. It's the first one of these we've done in a while. And we have 2 boxes of Season 6 trading cards from Rittenhouse, 2 boxes of Season 7. Each box contains 2 autographs. So it's a 12-spot break with 8 autos and a few other things to give out, including the base cards and the insert and parallel cards. All right, so let's do you good on Game of Thrones then. Let's see if we can't pull something big out of these. So here we go. Let's get it started. Game of Thrones. We'll start with Season 6. And we'll keep it going into Season 7 right after. These are wrapped pretty tight. Let's see if we can't cheat a little on this. There we go. So Game of Thrones has a new set scheduled to release. I believe it should be this month. You know, depending on the company, sometimes things get pushed back a little. But Inflections has a lot of hype behind it. A very solid checklist encompassing the entire show. That always helps. Helps with the Walking Dead sets too, right? And limited production run. It was allocated. You don't normally see that on such sets, and it's fortunately we bought enough of Season 7 and Valerian Steel that we're able to get half a case. So we're going to get 10 boxes allocated to us. So we should be able to have some fun with those. All right. So again, 2 autos per box. And we've pulled some big hits in the past, so I am hoping we manage to pull another one of these sweet short prints. Oh, that is a binge-worthy show from beginning to end. I really don't think there's a bad season. You know, like even with Walking Dead, there's a couple seasons that's like, it's not our favorite, you know? Game of Thrones is solid. So, hey Daniel, what's going on? So again, it's been a little while since we busted these open. The draft order has already been determined. So I posted that earlier. I'll put it back up again. Let's see here. I will repost the draft order. Just gotta pull it back up. Again, this was part of our late April recap where we just kind of went back over everything that was still hanging on from April. And there it is. So here is the draft order again. I'm going to repost. All right, so this is the order everybody will pick. Again, as long as everybody's here live, then we can continue drafting. And then if it ever, at some point, somebody's not able to make their pick, we'll end up just going to a draft post. And usually the next day, we get that all wrapped up. Oh, yeah. We got something that is definitely a short print. This is cool. All right, let's start it off with Lady Brienne, or is it Sir Brienne? Brienne of Tarth. This is an example of one of the inserts, right? Battle of the Bastards. You got Tristane Martell. This is a parallel. Osha. Young Eddard Stark, which this would be. This is a key piece of information that he held that we would find out during season 7 that Jon Snow really knows nothing. Well, now he knows it all. And we got a foil parallel there. So, Blood of My Blood. Actually, are these inserts or are they part of the set? They got regular numbers. I'll have to double check that. These might actually just be like the opening cards, and then these are the peeps. I'll double check that on the checklist. But we got the Night King, and that was a big part of last week's episode, finally wrapping up that storyline. I don't want to give out any spoilers, but the end of tonight's episode, well, Missandei has a big part in this. And now we'll just keep rolling. Drogon the Survivor, I think, is going to be his nickname. And we have the Hound. That's a foil parallel as well. That is correct. So you will get first pick, Brandon. Gail would pick second. Brandon, you'd pick third. Adam Christensen will have fourth pick. You would get 5 and 6. Jason Burns, 7. Adam Christensen, 8. It would be back to you at 9 and 10. Gail Anderson at 11. And Mike DeFreitas ended up with 12. Now, there might be a little bit of good news for Mike. I have a feeling there might be an extra, which would then cause a rollover. We'll see if it counts as an extra. No one. Balon Greyjoy. The Red Woman. And yeah, so the episode cards are part of the regular set. Not those, not the foil ones. These ones. These are part of the regular set. Here's the checklist. So you got the first 30 cards are the episodes, and then 31 to 100, which is the checklist here, are the base cards. And then the parallels, like the foils. All right, you will see some of the inserts too. I think each of the insert sets comes like 1 per box, sometimes 2. So let's see here. Well, that was a definite turn of events when Jon Snow came back to life. Gilly, Lady Crane. And there's Jon Snow, and that is a foil, so that'll count as a parallel. Lady Tyrell. The High Sparrow. And Tormund Giant's Bane. I thought he was a goner in last week's battle there. And here's an insert. So you got quote cards. We make peace with our enemies, not our friends, said Tyrion. And you're going to die tomorrow, Lord Bolton. Sleep well. That's a good one there, Sansa. We'll give that a little 1 cent love. So, what crazy hit could we possibly have in our hand right now? Oh, she's one that's in demand, and she's tough to pull. Daenerys Targaryen. We got Sir Jorah Mormont and Littlefinger. That's Jesse's favorite death scene. I'm beginning to feel like Arya Stark is becoming a quick favorite with me. I know who Jesse's favorite is. He didn't look in too good of a shape there, but the table was probably as tall as he was. No one. So we have Grey Worm. He's not happy with the way this last episode ended. And here's our first autograph, Eugene Simon, who played Lancel Lannister. So Eugene Simon going to be the first hit out. And we're about to see something that we just haven't seen before in one of our breaks. And that is a relic card. Specially inserted in this season, I think it was for the first time, was relic cards for Daenerys Targaryen. So this comes from an actual skirt that she wore on the show in this scene right here. So, like how they blended it into the picture. Ribbed for her comfort. Wait a minute, that didn't come out right. So, Daenerys Targaryen skirt. Is going to be one of the hits. Now, I'm assuming that this is going to be a bonus because they say 2 autographs per box, and this puppy ain't signed. So this looks to be an extra hit, which will help at least the last spot out a little bit by adding a little extra something to the mix. I don't know what those go for, but they're pretty hard to find. So for a relic card, they'd probably go for a decent amount too. What exactly, I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody could find a comp on eBay somewhere. But again, we got 1 auto so far and 1 relic card. Again, we are breaking some Game of Thrones. And that is getting a lot of hype because it's the last season. I feel like there's some shows that are going on right now that are pretty much getting forgotten. With Game of Thrones taking a lot of the wind out of the sails for them. Okay. We do have another auto in here. So you still get both autos even with a relic. We got a couple more packs in this first box. Yeah, let's see what we got coming up next. All right. So here we go. And we have a gold parallel here. So blood of my blood, Daenerys. I'm guessing riding Drogon. That is numbered 51 out of 150. So the gold parallels scarcer than the foils, and they are serial numbered. Yara Greyjoy. Be interesting to see what's up with her. Theon put up a last ditch effort in the big battle from a couple weeks ago. Last ditch? No, it's last ditch. Okay. Anyways. There's Randall Tarley, who would not escape the real Queen's ire. Not Queen Marjorie, but Queen Daenerys. Sir Jaime Lannister. I'm a little confused at where his allegiances lie after all is said and done. But I guess we'll find that out tomorrow. Gregor Clegane. The suit has been upgraded to badass. Lord Varys. And then there's Blood of My Blood again. So working on a rainbow. And there's Samwell Tarly. Hodor. It was so simple what his name meant, and yet so easy to miss. Jon Snow. Arya Stark. Brother Ray. Brother Lancel, who we just had pulled an autograph of. Sansa. Melisandre. And here is a art insert. So it's titled, I Made My Choice Long Ago. The Night King. And here's another insert. Doran Martell and Ilaria Sand. So this is kind of similar to those rivalry inserts in Walking Dead cards, but not exactly. And just pulling up Periscope in case we have any comments on there. Usually with the sports stuff we don't, but I'm curious. Yeah, no, nothing. Eventually, Periscope World will start speaking to us, but so next card out, we got the Waif. We got a foil checklist, so I'll go with the parallels. Give you a good start on those foils if you pick that spot. And some repeats on the base set. So we have Arya Stark. This was a cool scene too, where she's just kind of coming out of nowhere. My name is Arya Stark. I want you to know that. The last thing you're ever going to see is a Stark smiling down at you as you die. I wonder if you're the worst person I ever met, Lady Tyrell to Cersei. She'd probably be right. She's getting more and more evil as this show goes along. At first, you got to kind of wonder, is there like an internal struggle? Like she wanted so badly for her kids to be rulers of the land, and then when she lost all of them, it's like that's what she had to live for, was getting them to that throne. Kids are gone, so what's left? The Iron Throne. And she don't give a rat's ass about anything else. Cold-hearted witch she is. And some of her sons were more noble than others. Not really. A little bit. There's King Tommen Baratheon. think he was the least hateable of her children. Would you agree with me? First one was a prick. Benjamin Stark. And there's the next auto. Joel Fry, who played Hisdar Zalorak. Joel Fry, Hisdar Zalorak. Going to be hit number 2. Yeah, I think Cersei is just a little peg up now above Joffrey. I think Cersei has lost any bit of humanity left in her. Joffrey was just an arrogant little kid. Never really grew up. You know, he was a brat. Cersei is an animal. And I'm sure there will be much blood to come next week. I don't know. They killed the Night King off in one long, dramatic episode. I wonder, will this battle be over when next week's show is finished? Or is this going to take even a little bit longer? It's not many episodes left. We'll see. So here's our second box of season 6. And I would keep everything together. Again, you should probably, depending on the way they fall, be able to make at least one set with the base cards. So that's cool. You have a pretty decent start on the foils. Those insert sets, though, I think their numbering is spaced out throughout the whole series. So I guess they seem like big sets, but if you break it down series by series, there's only a few cards in each. That's not a bad auto. I don't know if it's short printed or not. Let's just say it's a very relevant auto right now. How's that sound? Relevant auto. I thought it was 7, but it might be 6. Because I didn't realize this week's was an hour and a half as well. It's kind of why we were running about 10 minutes late before we got started. I thought it was going to be over and I'd have time for a snack, and then I looked at the clock and I'm like, once I finally got a hold of somebody who could run the video for me, it was like 10 of. I'm like, how much time is left in this episode? I thought it would be over by now. It was like 20 minutes left, and I was like, oh, crap. But I think that included the after show. So, if you haven't seen the episode, I'm trying not to give any spoilers, but also trying to keep it relevant to this week's conversation, too, which is not easy. But as far as relevancy goes, the next autograph had a big part in tonight's episode. All right. Not necessarily on camera the longest, but definitely a big part in tonight's episode. So we've gotten a look at the base cards already, so we don't need to go too deep into that. Just want to make sure we hit all the inserts and parallels, really. I suppose it's hard for a fanatic to admit a mistake. Isn't that the whole point of being a fanatic? You're always right. Lord Varys said every sports fan ever. Men can be fickle, but birds I always trust. More wisdom from Lord Varys. He's pretty smart for a guy without a head. Oh, wait a minute. We got the door. And there's a gold parallel. Usually you see one per box. Tormund Giant's Bane. 89 out of 150. Kissed by Fire. Sir Jaime Lannister. I'm hoping that we see a battle of the Cleganes. That would be awesome. We'll see what happens next week. Lord Mace Tyrell is a foil. Braun. And there's the High Sparrow with a foil. You know, I think a lot of people are just sad that it's ending to begin with. There were some people, Jess included, she had a problem with the last episode because of the lighting and the filming. And I get that it was done for an artistic reason. But God, Arya is a badass. The Leaf. But I know why they did it. It's like the darkest moment of the show. And things did not look good for a while. But we knew there was more episodes coming, so this guy couldn't possibly have won, right? Can you imagine that kind of a flip? Can you imagine if the Night King wins? Then who automatically becomes the good guy? It's Cersei. I don't think, even as a wrestling fan, I don't think we could handle a swerve that big. I heard that there's 3 spin-offs that were being drawn up, and one had a pilot ordered. So it's very possible that we could see multiple spin-offs. But don't be surprised if we at least see one. And there we go. Natalie Emmanuel. Who plays Missandei in Game of Thrones. So she's not missing here. Yeah, we watched it in the dark too. It'd be tough. The man who ends all humanity or the woman who has none. Who would be the favorite? Again, too big of a swerve for me. I would have been like, no, I don't think so. And then you'd have to have major characters survive in the retreat. But I think it's going. I think it's going in the direction we kind of expect it to. You know, to give everybody that closure that they want. But you never know. There could be a twist at the end. It's just how it goes. Yeah, I mean, there's already differences between the book and the show from what I've read. Um, and maybe some of those things that aren't in the show but are in the book could lead to some differences in, you know, a spin-off or something like that. But there's some history that it seems. You never know. He's still angry about the draft, probably. I doubt he cares for Daniel Jones any more than I do. I think he lives in Jersey too, doesn't he? I mean, a New York Giants fan, so you know, I don't think he's gonna want to mess up the ending of that. Because then the shoe will be on his foot. But I guess the show ended because the current writing team said they were done. I'm sure they could have squeezed out 2 or 3 more seasons if they wanted to. This is actually a repeat of the quote card we saw in the other box. There's Edmer Tully. Stack's getting tall. There's your art card there. Hold the Door. 55 out of 150. So this is a gold foil version. And Hodor. Again, that's a pretty cool one there. Numbered out of 150. Hey, Jeremy, what's going on? So again, we are 2 spots away from being able to schedule WWE. Got a foil. We'll do what we can, but being that it's after midnight, if we secure those spots, I still have a feeling it's going to run tomorrow. The waif. But hey, let's have something on the agenda on the board, right? This is the regular silver foil art card. That was a command, not an offer. Yeah, there's a little irony in that, isn't there? So we got Dario and Serjora. So another pairings card. Izembaro. The numbers left for WWE. Let me take a look. Let's just go over this autograph first. So we have Bridget Jort Sorensen. who played Carsey. And then there's Ollie and one more episode card. So Bridget Short Sorensen, who played Carsey on the show. So the numbers that are left for WWE are as follows. Let's scroll up here. Looks like 1, 2, 12, and 13. 1, 2, 12, and 13. So basically, double layer of bookends there. I don't see any other spots called. I'm just checking the 2 Facebook apps real quick. Yep, that be the ones. 1, 2, 12, and 13. So just to give you an idea, your inserts and parallel stack is going to be the more premium cards. It's about this big. All right, that's going to be all of Season 6 put together. Again, we didn't do 16 spots for this break because we duplicated boxes on the seasons. And I think you should be able to get a set out of these. If not, you might be missing a few because of the way they're, the cut comes out. But I think there'll be a set in this stack. Set's 100 cards big. 2 and 12, you got it. So we have enough to run WWE. I don't know if we'll have the ability to get payments in tonight, but I will put it on the post and we'll see what comes in. But WWE has enough spots to run. If it doesn't run tonight, it could run either tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. And I think the fields are going to be underwater tomorrow. So most likely I got no softball, which means we can start early if we need to. So again, WWE, enough spots to run. And we'll work on that after we finish up Game of Thrones. But actually, I'll just put something in here now. Just real quick, we'll update that info. So again, WWE has enough to run, but we have to see if we can get everybody able to respond on that. So. All right, so that's been updated. So here we go, Season 7. And as you see, the Night King on the cover of the box there. Season 7 ended with some major fireworks as the wall ended up getting breached. You can see the print run's actually a lot lower. It's 8,000 boxes as opposed to 11,000. Some major characters already gone at this point. And then a couple that didn't end up signing. So I actually think Season 6 the stronger set overall, but still some big signers in Season 7. And hopefully we can find something short printed. I think we did pretty good with those Season 6 boxes. Again, that's the first time we had pulled a relic out of Game of Thrones with all the boxes that we've opened up. And again, a worn skirt relic from Daenerys Targaryen. Or as those who are only casual watchers of the show know her as the hot blonde, right? So I think a serial numbered card there. That's always good. So again, WWE has enough to break. There's still 2 spots available. It's $45 for one, 2 for $85. WWE has enough spots to break. And we just gotta see what we can get in from that tonight. I think it might just be a little too late to break it tonight, but that just means it'll roll tomorrow. So, Game of Thrones Season 7. 2 autos per box. And inflections. Going to be a huge hype behind inflections. I think there's some continuation of the metal series that was in Valerian Steel. Maybe some update cards. I don't know how you want to call it. But it should be interesting. So again, you'll have some new characters. A lot of the main characters will be repeated in these, obviously. Qyburn there. You'll have your episode cards that start off the set. And then we'll be looking for parallels and inserts. This one, they got a little lazy, and the cards are all different directions. Boo. So, Littlefinger. I guess he got killed off in the beginning of Season 7. Sansa Stark. No, Brandon, we randomized the list. The list gets randomized. So the spot that you get in doesn't mean that's the spot you end up with. If you look at, I don't know if you can still see it. I think it's gone on my end. So a video person takes the list, uses random.org to randomize the order, and that determines. Otherwise, it would make no sense to charge the same price for all the spots, would it? So, Lady Tyrell. So the bookends are available in wrestling. 1 and 13 are the spots that are still available. Give us common folk one taste of power. We're like the lion who tasted man. Nothing is ever so sweet again. Lord Varys talks a lot, doesn't he? He's on a lot of these quote cards. He's speaking to Melisandre. Incompetence should not be rewarded with blind loyalty. Lord Varys. Lord Varys obviously never worked in retail in our generation. But all right. As a former retail manager, I found that funny. Anyway. So, Dick on Tarley. He didn't fare too well either. But hey, he was loyal to his family. Tyrion. So we got Arya and Brienne. I don't know who would win in a fight. It's a good thing they're on the same size. Same side. Definitely not the same size. Daenerys and Jorah Mormont. This is a gold foil 135 out of 225. Anything with Dany is a good deal, isn't it? We got the checklist there. Now, season 7, checklist is a lot shorter. 81 cards. So, 81 cards in season 7. That's probably why there was less boxes made, right? And then I forget, what was the count on season 6? I thought it was 100. I don't know. I'll worry about that later. Oh, there's a checklist. All right. Yeah, it was 100 in season 6, so they cut back, but some of the characters die. So they had less. One constant remaining. So, yeah, there are Attitude Era autographs. We've hit nice stuff with guys like the Hitman, Bret Hart in the past. Missandei, we'll miss you. You got Roderick Payne, Lord Varys, Lady Mormont, who was valiant in the battle against the Night King. And Brendan Cowell, going to be the next autograph. Harrig on the show. Brendan Cowell. All right, again, we've finished the season 6 boxes, and we're plugging our way through season 7. What's that? I think it's too late to get payments in on those. I think it's going to be this one tonight. I think tomorrow we're going to aim for 2. No, 2 breaks. But maybe 2 o'clock. If I get all packages done by 2 o'clock, we'll do an afternoon break. Give people things to do at work. Watch us. So looking for one more autograph. Again, we already got one bonus hit. A Daenerys relic. So let's see if we can pull something badass out of season 7. So we're doing Game of Thrones. Hopefully we can get that Walking Dead break going. That one, just like this Game of Thrones, once, it's like forever at 3 spots, and then once we got some movement on it, the rest of them just came one after the other. That Walking Dead break wouldn't take too much to get it going either. So, hey, maybe we could do 3 breaks tomorrow. I gotta figure a way to get Walking Dead episodes in here. Okay. Here we go. Second half of the first of 2 Season 7 boxes. Yara Greyjoy. A little worse for wear there. They allow a little more blood than the Topps cards. And 145 out of 150, the East Watch episode. So 145 out of 150. Jon Snow leading the pack. It's a little confusing. You got Melisandre and Missandei. I guess we don't have to worry about that anymore. And Rhaegal. One of 3 dragons. Hot Pie. So he looks like he's a big fan of Hot Pie. And again, Gregor with the badass suit in Season 7. Season 6 has kind of looked lame. A long and bloody tale. To be honest, I was drunk for most of it. Tyrion to Jon Snow on how he became Daenerys' hand. I'm tired of reading about the achievements of better men. Samwell Tarly. Well, Jon Snow thinks you're a great man, Samwell. Don't be so hard on yourself. Have I ever been to Cancun? No, I have not. I've been to Cozumel. I have not been to Cancun. I'll bet the water is just as rough to drink there, though. Don't ask for ice in your drink. Dragonstone. So I got the foil there. Arya. Viserion. And there's Sansa and Littlefinger. Oh, little did he know. Lord Fry, Baelish. Lots of sirs and lords in this one. And there we go. Winter came for House Fry. Yeah, Arya came. I think she's becoming my favorite. Lord Robert Glover. Gilly. Benjen Stark. And some repeats here. Cersei. Everybody's favorite. To hate. Missandei. And we have Lucy Hayes, who played Lady Kitty Fry. And that whole family got fried. So, Lady Kitty Fry. I think I've seen that offered on the menu of a Chinese restaurant once. No, I didn't. They still served it in secret, though. All right. Season 7. The final box of the break. We've pulled a little bit of both. A little bit of fire, a little bit of ice. Let's see if we can end up with some heat in Game of Thrones here. And looking for autograph number 1. First auto on the last box was Brendan Cowell, who played Harrig. This one looks different. I'm wondering if these are short printed because of the way they look. All the other ones had this design, and this one has like a darker border with Game of Thrones in a different spot. So I don't know if that's just the card design or if it's supposed to signify anything. But I do believe, I think on Cardboard Connection they have the checklist and the print runs. They're not numbered, but the print runs I believe are stated for the autographs. So I could be wrong on that, but I remember, I definitely know they have it for Walking Dead. I want to say they have it for Game of Thrones as well. The Walking Dead being, of course, the Cryptozoic sets that they had in the past, which we do still have, Season 4 and all that. So again, we've pretty much seen all the base cards, so we'll kind of whip through them on this final box, giving more focus to the inserts and the autographs. Okay. So, yeah, usually you're good at the resorts, but if you go outside on any kind of trip, just remember that advice. All right, here we go. Next round. So I feel like there's less of the inserts in this one. And we got Kyburn, Lady Tyrell with some foil action. I think she had some foil action in the last season too, wasn't she? So season 7. They have more cards per box. I feel like this is bigger. This is just 5 cards, same amount of packs. So we got the Spoils of War. Tyrion Lannister. When people ask you what happened here, tell them that the North remembers. Tell them winter came for House Fry. Arya Stark, after eliminating House Fry. Leave one wolf alive and the sheep are never safe. Arya Stark posing as Walder Frey. Anything to do with Arya Stark is badass and deserves some 1 cent love there. There's Bronn. Dickon Tarley. We got here Arya and Sansa. There was some tension there for a while. And we have Mark Gaddis, who played Tico Nestoris from the Iron Bank. So, Cersei needing the Iron Bank to fund some of her evil plans. Very cool. Walking Dead breaks are always fun, too. All right, finishing up season 7 here. It's May 20th, 2013. Tornado season is well underway, but it's been unusual. That's a fun one. Until now. All right, so what do we got here? Finishing up the final box. And then we can draft in Game of Thrones. About to bring chaos, death, and destruction to the city of Lord. What is about to hit will be one for the history books. Wrapper spilling on the floor there. So I wonder if the season 8 cards, when they come out, will he still be Jon Snow? Right, like so? Or will they call him Aegon Targaryen in the final cards for the show? Season 7 and Valerian Steel were two totally, completely different releases. So Valerian Steel was the first premium set for Game of Thrones. And we got Dragonstone, 107 out of 150 there. So I got 2 Valerian Steel boxes left in stock. That card's working on a rainbow too. I'm a slow learner, it's true, but I learn. Sansa Stark. I'm sure cutting off heads is very satisfying, but that's not the way you get people to work together. Sansa to Arya. Arya's response was probably, but it's so much fun. Come on, that innocent face, she can't cause no mayhem, right? Within minutes, hundreds of homes are destroyed. Now nature's fury has turned its sights towards even more vulnerable and precious. wonder if they use a slightly thicker stock on these cards. Doesn't feel like it. The pile's so much bigger though. Kitty Fry, the ninth wife, Missandei with a foil. Yeah, no, the metal cards are for Valerian Steel only, and it looks like there's some extended cards that are going to be coming out in Inflections. So it looks like a gold foil there. Tell Cersei I want her to know it was me. 107 out of 150. So that is not only an art card insert, but it's also a parallel. About 40 minutes after the tornado touched down, it clears the city limits. Then, soon after, weakens and dies. Yara Greyjoy with the foil. In this city of almost 60,000. Some gnarly tarly action going on there. Including 10 children. Nearly 400 others were injured. It left behind a trail of... And our autograph is of Essie Davis. 12,000 homes. Lady Crane. Essie Davis. And on the back, if you look, it says Rittenhouse Archives. So that's from 2016. All right. So these are actually from the season 5 set. And this could be a short print too, because it's got that different card design. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the Game of Thrones logo little higher up on the card with the black border, I think that might indicate a shorter print card, because that's how our Sansa Stark autograph looked too. I think the Jon Snow one did also. So this is your stack of inserts and parallels, and it's all about that base, With only 80-something cards in Season 7, you might be able to get a couple sets out of them. I'm thinking. So again, we'll do a quick hit recap, and then we'll get to drafting. You just got... Let's see. As battered Oklahomans emerge from the aftermath, scientists race to figure out exactly what happened. Just 10 miles from Moore, Oklahoma, is the town of Norman, site of Noah's national... Yeah, those Daenerys relics go for over 100 on eBay. Looks like they capped out as high as 170. For them, the first step after an event like this is to understand exactly what happened. And that's around the cheapest being offered right now. So, just saying. All right. And stayed on the ground for about 40 minutes. First estimates put the cost of the damage in... Oh, there's even dual relics out there. Those go for even more. Wow. So yeah, just because it's not signed does not mean it's not a badass card. I'm not looking up anyone else. Well, you got to remember they gotta fill a checklist for the whole season. So again, we got Essie Davis, known as Lady Crane. Mark Gaddis, Tico Nestoris. Lucy Hayes, Lady Kitty Fry. Brendan Cowell, Harrig. And you also got to factor in how often do they sign. So some, fanatics that want to get autographs of everybody, Some are harder to get. Carsey, Bridget Short Sorensen. This is definitely not a D-list character here. Missandei. She's been around for a while. It's not an A-lister, but I would say a B-lister. And she had a key part in tonight's episode. Lanza Lannister, Eugene Simon. Joel Fry, Hizdar Zalorak. And I'm going to have to say this is probably hit of the night right here. We got a Daenerys Targaryen skirt relic. All right. Super cool right there. I wonder what's going at number 1. I'm not sure. How much are boxes of Walking Dead? Depends on which ones. Some are cheaper than others. They start as low as 45 and go up to as high as about 85. Yes, yeah. I do have Walking Dead boxes in stock. On the pin post, there is a list of boxes that we have for sale, and they should all be on there, whatever we have left. So we're starting to see some of the boxes that we've had in stock for a while dwindling down in numbers. I may have to restock on some of the older sets so that we can keep doing these Walking Dead breaks. We just have to keep doing these Walking Dead breaks for that to happen. It's a conundrum there. So let's see where we stand right now here. I'm going to pull up the draft list. I'll post it up again. So Brandon Taylor, you have pick number 1. Gail Anderson, are you in here? You have pick number 2. Brandon, again, you're at number 3. Adam Christensen, 4. And Brandon, 5 and 6. So that's the first half of the draft. Again, the hits shown, plus the combo stacks of inserts and parallels, and the base cards for each season. And it looks like we have an extra, so Mike DeFreitas will actually end up with 2 things, which sometimes can be good consolation for the bottom spot. So Brandon Taylor, you have the first pick. What's it going to be? Yep, you got the first pick. So that's the advantage to buying all those spots. You know, you with one pick you can get the equivalent value of what you paid for all of them. If it's the right one. In the immediate aftermath, Maylene saw the obliterated school, not knowing if her kids were alive. And that is the one that'll do it. So Daenerys relic goes at spot number 1. A little piece of history there. Gail Anderson, are you in here? Again, if we end up having to stop the draft because somebody's not in here, I put everything up on a post, and generally the next morning they'll see the post, and then we continue on. So let me know. When I messaged him that we were live, I don't think he saw it. So might be in bed. So there is a chance we might be done with the draft at this point. And then I'll just continue on tomorrow. Brandon's already gotten his money's worth, so. But if we don't finish, again, we just go to a draft post, and everything gets picked from there. So WWE 5-box break has 2 spots left. 2 spots left in that one. We're going to be opening a box of 2019 Raw. All right, that is the latest set to come out. Again, all these, plain old hobby boxes of tops, 2 hits with 1 guaranteed auto nowadays. Next is women's division. It's a 2018 set. Has some key rookies, including the first cards of Ronda Rousey. Rookie cards of Asuka as well. We got 2018 Undisputed. 10 hits per box, 8 of them guaranteed to be autos. So there's a huge propensity for autographs in this one. With this set as well, 2018 Legends. 4 hits, 3 of them guaranteed to be autos per master box. Each master box has 2 minis. And Legends has produced some bonus hits. Undisputed has 2, usually just 1, but it's got such a high hit count. Usually it's an extra autograph. And then Legends has in the past either had 4 autographs and no relics, one of which would be a relic auto at that point, or we've had boxes that had 4 autographs and a relic. So sometimes it varies depending on if there's a redemption card in the box. That seems to be the kicker from most of the boxes we've seen where that occurs, but you never know. So again, we're going to give it a couple more minutes for Gale Anderson. And if he's done for the night, then I'll just be snapshotting some photos of these cards. And we will get to the rest of the draft at some point tomorrow. Let's see, is Daenerys a 75 or 100? I think we'll go with 100 on this one. For whatever reason, Moore seems to be ground zero in what is known as Tornado Alley. So I'll do another hit recap. So again, selected at number 1, we got Daenerys Targaryen skirt relic, and that is a super short printed card. Joel Fry as Hisdar Zalorak. Eugene Simon as Lancel Lannister. Natalie Emanuel Missandei. Bridget Short Sorensen Carsey. Brendan Cowell Harrig. Lucy Hayes Lady Kitty Fry. Mark Gaddis Tico Nestoris. And Essie Davis out of the Rittenhouse Archives. You'll see the back of the card's kind of got like a stamping on it. And the year on this card is 2016, meaning I believe it's from season 5 release. So yeah, that's what we got here. Then there's the stacks of inserts and parallels from season 6, inserts and parallels from season 7, base from season 6, and base from season 7. The gold cards come in these stacks. So all the rainbow foils, the gold foils, any inserts, they're in the insert and parallel stack. The gold cards are parallel. So and they're a serial numbered parallel, so they're harder to get. And then the base cards from the base set of 100 and what was it, 83 or whatever it was, 80 something. Those as well, their own stacks. So, anybody have anything for me? Any personal requests? Ooh, this top loader's cracked. Good thing I didn't put a card in there. Any requests for personals or any other information on any of the breaks that we currently have up? Again, scrolling at the bottom of your screen are the prices for a lot of the draft breaks and random team breaks that we have up. No, this is just one pick. That's why there's 12 spots. So this is one spot, one whole pick. This is all of season 7. And this is all of season 6. All right. And then the base stacks are all one hit. Or one slot, I mean. So that's how they're already split up like that. And since it looks like we're going to a draft post, it'll be obvious in the pictures as well. Are those cards worth any money? If somebody's set building, some of the insert sets are easier to build than others. But a true fanatic may try to go after the gold set. I don't know, honestly, what the market is on those. The non-sport stuff, you find the right person, you'll get the right price. So for the non-sport stuff, it's different dynamics than the sports cards. Even the WWE stuff, like Kofi Kingston, I was hitting them all the time. They didn't go for much. I sold them a while ago. Now he's the world champ, and they probably go for like 3 or 4 times what I was selling them for them before. So there's still even with the wrestling cards, a little bit of that sports dynamic. With the Game of Thrones, somebody dies, they could be, in character. If they die in general, that usually causes a little bit of a increased demand for their stuff too. But like this card right here, this covers your whole break, and you took a lot of spots. These comp anywhere from 120 to 160 in recent sales, and I think the lowest that these are being offered for right now are 159. The dual relics go for like 3 and change. So yeah, there are money in these cards. We hit a wrestling card one time that was 4 figures. So right card, right buyer. Yeah, there's definitely some possibilities in here. Again, a complete set may be worth more to somebody than a D-list autograph. That That I can't tell you where these would fall because a lot of times it's going to depend on the buyer too. So there's a little interweaving there. Um, if you can pull a complete set out of those, then that could have some saleability or collectability if you want to keep it. That's why people get the complete sets to begin with, right? Uh, the four-figure card for wrestling was a quad booklet out of 2017 Undisputed, and it was I think it was numbered out of 5, and it had Randy Orton. Okay, he was not super scarce by himself. He's gettable. Then you had Goldberg. It's a decent auto, right? Then you had Brock Lesnar and John Cena. And when we had pulled that card, it had a comp of about 1,200. And I paid it forward on that one. That card, we were talking about markdown moments earlier. That card had its own markdown moment. So retail's pretty brutal in general. I mean, you get the relic cards out of some of the blasters, but hobby's where it's at. 99% of the time, if you're getting a set at retail, all right, and you put like hundreds of dollars into retail packs or boxes or whatever, hangers, all right, 99% of the time, you're not going to get your money's worth. Where a hobby box, you could get some monster pulls. Now in retail, there's some sets that are retail exclusive, and they're good performers. There's also exceptions to the rule. Your mega boxes tend to have those exclusive parallels tend to carry some good value. Um, Even like the Bowman, if you pull an auto, you're doing well. They did a nice thing with Bowman where they made the greens to 99 exclusive to retail. So a lot of times retail can have like a watered down checklist of what you can get out of it. Um, but they gave some good opportunities. The thing is, you have to buy so much retail to get autos. And if you don't pull a major guy like a Franco or a Guerrero or somebody like that, then you'll get the prize, but it won't give you a good return. So retail is just a different animal than hobby, and it's generally for the more casual collector. All right, the retail exceptions tend to be exclusive parallels for special sets. All right, look at Prism basketball. Retail does very well with those. Even Prism football. All right, you get the silvers, and then you're in good shape. But then when you see those cards flooding out of the retail boxes, the market tends to adjust and not treat those cards as highly either. So it's a double-edged sword. When you start seeing big things coming out of retail and they're coming a little easier than they should, then it's like, so what is the print run on this year? And then people get a little. Uh, so you almost would rather the good stuff coming out of the hobby boxes. Yeah, see, if you're gonna drop $1,000 on a set, hobby is the way to go. If you're doing it $10, $15 at a time and you're just doing it, you know, every time you pick up groceries at Walmart, you pick up a blaster box or a couple hangers, you know. But if you have it at all one lump sum, hobby's the way to go. Just get a case. Times there's guaranteed case hits and all that. So much better off. Yeah, that's retail. Okay, if you want to compare, cards to gambling, retail is the slot machine. The slot machine of cardboard. What was it? A Ty Cobb cut signature auto came out of a real retail pack. All right. I don't know if it was supposed to or not, but it did. It's pretty badass. It's a big card. But how many pulls did it take to get that card? All right. Maybe one guy gets lucky. He drops his penny in the slot machine and walks away with $5,000. But how often does that happen? The odds are just so much worse on retail. So what you're talking about, Brandon, is really like the business end of the cards. So here's how it works with inflections. You order it, all right? If you've got the certain ties to a manufacturer, some people can order at manufacturer level. Most can't. There's usually requirements and things like that. And with a smaller manufacturer, like Rittenhouse, maybe nobody does. Maybe it's distributor only they'll cater to. So then at distributor level, you pre-order your boxes. All right. Now I pre-ordered one case of 20 boxes. Okay. Now I know Blowout was sold out. All right, so I'm just going to use them as an example. It doesn't mean this is what they got or anything like that. I don't have any secret knowledge of this, but just to use a name so that you can figure, what I'm trying to explain. We're going to say, let's say Blowout put in their pre-order and they wanted 100 cases. Okay, I think this product is limited to like 300 cases or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So that's probably a really high number, but we're just going to say that. All right. So I'm here. I put in for one case. They're here. They put in for 100. The allocations were based on the amount of stuff you ordered for Season 7 and Valerian Steel. Valerian Steel, when I put in for that like a year and a half ago, I was allocated half a case. Season 7, I brought in a full case. They gave me half a case of inflections. Blowout, on the other hand, maybe got allocated 35 cases. So they know they have 35 coming in, so they pre-sold they probably pre-sold like 10, 15, 20, and they're holding on to the other ones because the demand is going up on them. So they could choose to release some more, all right? Or they may have buyers or sellers lined up on the secondary market where they know, they already arranged with them that they're going to get their boxes at a certain price. So then those people don't have to worry about selling them, and they'll automatically get a profit, no work needed, right? So then those prices are going to cost them more, and they're going to have to raise the price on them to do it. So right there, that explains how they're sold out of something they don't have yet. Nobody has it yet. But they know their numbers. So I get my numbers ahead of time, and that's how I plan. I plan my stuff sometimes weeks ahead of time. And then there's different factors as to why I might not post it. I don't know my allocation number yet. Okay, once I get that, then maybe there's some things I put out. Once I get my allocation number for Leaf Treasury, I usually post the first break because that break is different. It's always done as a draft. It's not done with checklist. All right. Historic autographs. I'll post that knowing that usually we do their stuff via draft. Um, Panini stuff. I do a lot of pick your team, so I don't post that until a checklist comes out, which is often the day of release. Or if there's a first off the line product, we'll get that. We'll see that checklist come out earlier. And then I like to wait until Group Break Checklist puts it out. If I have to use Cardboard Connection, I will. But if Group Break Checklist is on it and they get it out ASAP, I'd rather do that because it's done by team. And sometimes, I mean, there was a football product this year I didn't even post a break for. I just sold. Somebody wanted a whole case of it, so I sold them the case. Sometimes my hands are tied by how much of the product I can get in. So, the more, we have a lot of loyal guys here. All right, guys and gals. Mostly guys. I think it's like 90, 96%. But we have a lot of loyal Marc-Down entertainment breakers. And, the quicker we move things out, the more stuff that we bring in, the higher the allocation numbers can go. It's very competitive right now for allocation. Stores that decided we don't want to go the breaking route, they're having trouble getting boxes. They're not even getting full cases of things, which is why the store model gets so hurt unless you support it with the breaking nowadays. So, little insight on how things work. So, a lot of times the pricing on boxes isn't really determined on the retail price that's suggested. It's determined by the demand that you as a buyer, all right, you've already bought out what, XYZ company put on their website as a pre-sale. Then the price goes up the next time. You got to rebuy on the secondary market. It makes no sense if I'm getting something in and everybody's selling, everybody's selling it at X price, and I come in here, well, I'll make a little money on that. But then if I got to buy it in again, I'm paying this. So there's a lot of math and figuring out involved. A lot of times when I look at a trend, I'm able to figure out where it's going to go. I knew where the Rays were going to go in Bowman 4 days before eBay had it figured out. That's why I don't trust eBay as a price guide. It's the customer that's always going to dictate what the value of something is. So, do I think this will be the best season yet? It depends on how it ends. Game of Thrones has been solid the whole series. Very solid. I expect it to end solidly. If it doesn't end solidly, then it could be the worst season yet. It's usually not a lot of middle ground on these last seasons, Either it ends like boom, or it's like, really, I watched this for 10 years and that's what you give me? Like the show Lost. I think they lost a lot of people at the end there. The trading cards, well, they're still going to come out with season 8. I do think they have the licensing long enough to give us a season 8. So Inflections is not season 8. It's a premium set. Will Inflections be the biggest set ever? You only get so much information from the pre-booking data. All right, they give you some pictures. Uh, they name drop a few names that they already got. It's a little easier with the non-sports stuff for that than the sports stuff, because you don't always know who the hottest rookie's going to be. But based on the pre-booking data, this could be just as good, if not maybe even better than Valerian Steel. So yeah, it could be the best set ever. I think based on what they've released about the set so far, has created enough hype that the market has shown, with all the sellouts on a lot of the major sites, all right, with the box prices going up as they have, all right, and Valerian Steel has has increased a lot over the last 6 months with the hype coming back to the show. We were kind of on a Game of Thrones lull for a little while. Valerian Steel boxes were going for just about cost at one point, but then they dried up, and then the market price went back up on them, and now I think they're at their peak right now. Actually, I don't think they were ever any higher. I want to say that they were like 150 or 160 to buy in, and suggested retail was 200, and I think they're over suggested retail last I checked. It's been about a month or two since I looked. I checked the prices out when Inflections was pre-booking. So during the pre-ordering stage, um, I was like, wow, those shot up. Yeah, no. Inflections is its own thing. Inflections covers the whole show. So it may be the last set that covers the entire thing, or they might do one more. Who knows? But Inflections is designed to be a high-end Game of Thrones set, and thus they're going to bring out the big penmanship. So you do get a lot of C-listers signing in the regular hobby boxes. The big pulls, it makes the big pulls that much more worth it when they come out too. All right, I think I got um like 150 for Sansa Stark. What's her name? I forget her name. So, yeah, I haven't decided on the final numbers for Inflections yet, but I always try to be fair too. It's like with this football stuff. Like they tell me reorder. You can get a price of this. We just got some more in. The distributor buys secondary market too. And I'll be like, yeah, but what the heck are you gonna pull at? Unless you pull Baker or Saquon on a serial number, you're not even gonna get the cost of your box back. So then I won't buy it. I usually have a good figure for what the maximum of what you're gonna be able to get out of it is, and I don't want to, you know, you pull the best card out of the set, and you're barely breaking even. So, so we'll pick wisely. Well, I pulled the Jon Snow. She just said I wasn't allowed to sell it. Wanted to show off the Valerian Steel, and no one was picking them up. So I broke one open just to show what you could get, and then of course I pulled the dual auto, Jon Snow, Rose Leslie, and Jesse's like, "You're not selling that." Cool. Okay. So I don't know. There's there's a lot more hype leading into Inflections because when all was said and done, then the Valerian steel, once people got a look at some of the things that were coming out on the buyback, the archives checklist, they're like, oh, this is badass, and then sales went up. So anybody else got anything for me tonight? Again, lots of breaks filling up right now. WWE has enough to break, but I got to get payments in, so that will break. That'll be a little bit of Monday Madness. Oh, yeah, dig it. And we'll have some fun with that. So again, pretty much it for tonight. So Game of Thrones goes to a draft break. It's getting late. I might post that in the morning tomorrow, whenever I get up. And check out all the breaks currently running on the 2 wave posts that we put up. And have a good night. Don't forget to check out that video I posted from Taxi Night. If you haven't seen it, again, that's probably one of my favorite videos that we've done. And we've done some fun ones. But you get a kick out of it. I'll just say that. All right. The collapse of hospitals, homes, and schools in Oklahoma has highlighted the need to strengthen. Yeah, I don't wake up early in the morning because I'm on like right now until like 1:13. I'll probably keep working until about 2:30, and then I'll pass out or drag my butt into bed. All right, and then I like to get 8 hours sleep. I went many years in the workforce getting 3 to 5 hours sleep. I like 8 hours sleep. So I understand. I work nights too. Actually, I work all day. It's a lot of hours put into this, especially when Facebook doesn't cooperate and doesn't make your life any easier. So I reposted it today, so it should be near the top of the list. But guess it was 2 years ago, Cinco de Mayo, and we refer to it as Taxi Night because some guy was wasted and just randomly called my phone. So of course, I see this number that said I've never seen before, and I pick up the phone, and of course I got to put it on speakerphone. So the guy didn't know that he was calling me while I was streaming live, and it was quite the show for about 20 minutes there. So yeah, I'll definitely follow up whenever we do those draft posts. Once one person goes, then I notify the next person, and so forth and so on. All right. All right. Have a good night. I'm out. Game of Thrones rocks.